Hello lovelies, I'm Angela and this is Parisienne Farmgirl. Welcome to my channel, bienvenue. Now, I usually film a farmhouse tour once every quarter. But this year I was committed to be my best gardener, and you can observe that in my potager series where I'm trying to bring you along as I'm doing all my gardening moves this year. And so alas, I was playing in the mud and I didn't film a spring farmhouse tour. But it's the end of summer and I wanted to show you what's going on in the house. We've made quite a few changes. I have 7 extra spaces to show you and I'm very excited. Now in the last few videos, I have been wearing some new earrings and a locket, and quite a few of you have reached out to ask me what is going on with these pieces and where did you get them. They're very classic and that's something that's really important to me. So these pieces are by
Louisa.
And I have a special coupon code for you. It's FarmGirl10. If you want to click the link in the description, you can check it out. But I chose these beautiful blue and pearl earrings. They're gorgeous. And this little locket, which I have a picture of the 6 children in. What I really like about her jewelry is that it's sustainable. They're using recycled gold, and there's a huge price range to choose from. So pieces start at $39 and go up from there. So as we go through the house, I'm going to do my best to sort of tell you what the room looked like before, where some of the key pieces came from, and occasionally even how much I've paid for them, just to give you some sort of a gauge. I know as an antiquer, as a junker, and a thrifter, there's this wide range of pricing and even availability across the country. My friends out west have a much more difficult time finding certain pieces than our friends in the East. And that's simply because of the history of this country, people abandoning their homes and all their goods and really lightening their load to head west so many years ago. But I'd like to take you and give you some of the details as we go along as well. So what I think we should do is we should start in my bedroom, because Joel just painted it this gorgeous color of peacock teal. It's very bold. The space is pretty large. It is a front porch because this is an eco house with a cathedral ceiling. So there's a lot of space, and so I decided to go really dark and bold with the color to sort of bring everything down and make it more intimate. I will be faux finishing the walls to sort of dinge them up a little bit in the future, but I'd like to show you where we are so far. With the unique architecture of the home, Joel and I are trying to create sort of an apartment feel for us, and then we have the kids' wing. So our bedroom is on the 2nd story porch. It's a greenhouse, 1st and 2nd story. And so we have our bedroom on the 2nd story. It goes off into my office, and then right off of that, we are in the process of creating a master bath with upstairs laundry room, which just sounds fabulous, having 6 children. The color palette in my bedroom I've had for a very long time. My original inspiration came from Claudia Strasser's book called The Paris Apartment. Of course, visit the blog if you want to learn a little bit more about that. You can see previous bedrooms that I've had with these colors. Joel just painted this space, this fabulous peacock teal for me. I'm always reaching from different things for inspiration. My daughters and I recently binge watched Downton Abbey, and I was very inspired by Lady Mary's dressing area where she would get ready for dinner every night. So I brought my cosmetics table over to this space and just sort of created this feeling on the far end of the bedroom.
All my treasures have been gathered at thrift stores and antique stores and garage sales. I have a huge chocolates tin collection. I think they're beautiful. I store my cosmetics in this one. I love French prints, and especially this Pygmalion picture. The beveled glass is pristine, and My Fair Lady is one of my favorite movies, so of course a picture of Pygmalion also matches my statues in my office very well. The curtain tiebacks are from a flea market in Paris. And this is a great space for me to be able to get ready with 6 children. It is very nice to have something that is mine, a little corner of the bedroom, which is where I can sort of fuss and do my thing.
I got my style, and it's alright.
The settee is something I found last summer at a barn sale for $15, simply because the rattan is torn up, and the Grecian terracotta pots are my great-grandmother's. Ideally, I don't want my bedroom on a porch, but this is how the house worked out, and the view is beautiful, and it works because it's right next to my office. This is my office where I record my podcast and I edit my YouTube videos. The dress hanging there was my grandmother's wedding dress, and if you see the rug, I actually found that in the basement of this house when we bought it, over by the furnace, filthy. I cleaned it up, I put it in the bedroom, and then when we went ahead and painted the walls in the bedroom teal and painted the office this beautiful color called Balboa Mist, I thought, well, I'll bring in the teal rug to complement the walls that are happening right next door. So you have the teal on the walls and then the teal on the floor, and it works very well together. This is the living room. It's right off of the kitchen. There's a family room behind me, behind that crazy quilt. I'm hanging the crazy quilt over the opening right now to decide if we want to seal the wall off. So the way this room is laid out right now is a little different, but it's just so that I can experiment before making such a big decision. But this is probably one of my favorite rooms in the house. It has the fireplace. It's where we hang out, especially in the winter after dinner. It's very eclectic, which really speaks to me. I can kind of have a little bit of everything in here. The wall of oil paintings and pictures that I opened the video with is new, that arrangement, and I'm really loving it. All the landscapes I think are just gorgeous in those old frames. This bright green sofa is very special to me. I've had it for years. I found it at an outdoor antique sale. It needs to be refinished so bad, but then I would have to part with it while that was being done, and I don't want to. It's just a collection of garage sale finds and thrift store finds and some nice antiques mixed in to sort of round everything out. The kitchen is a space that I am immensely proud of. Right where that after wording is was an electric stove, and the cabinets came over the top and wrapped down, and it made that little room where the sink is very dark and abysmal. We took all of that out. There was a pantry right there where the stove is, and just kept adding elements that I had been stashing over the years, like my workbench there with my cookbooks in it, and the copper sink, the scale, everything I'd sort of been hoarding in our old barn where we were renting, waiting for someday when I finally had my own house again. This space is so old world. It's a combination of so many different things that I love. I think it's very homey. It gets used and abused during the day. There are 8 of us here. There are 3 home-cooked meals a day. I feel like when you walk into this kitchen, if you weren't transported by walking through the gardens to get to the house, that by the time you walk through the kitchen, it really gives you a feeling that you're somewhere else. The boot room is a work in progress. This is as far as we've gotten. We've got a soft butter yellow on the walls and the trim. My grandmother's Hoosier cabinet, a church pew salvaged from a local church. This room is definitely a work in progress, but at least there's no more blue floral wallpaper. This first floor bathroom might have been the ugliest room in the house. I don't know, I suppose it's a coin toss. There was pink wallpaper with cattails on it. There was pink carpeting, and it was pretty bad. There was a very quintessential, outdated 1980s vanity, and I had been holding on to that marble surround for the sink for years. I found a brass bucket on Etsy, so we worked that out. I think you can see that in an old episode of Everyday Chateau here on the channel. I love this room. It's dark, it's cozy, it's nothing like it was. The closet off of the kitchen and right across from that bathroom had the hot water heater in it. We moved that to the basement, and now this is my fermenting proving closet. So it's where I, start my bread. I've got my sauerkraut going in there and my pickles going in there. It's a great little space. It's kind of funky with a little slanted ceiling. Obviously, it's very difficult to film, but you can see I have my English crock collection on an old piece of barnwood that Joel mounted in the back for me. And it's just right there off the kitchen, perfectly situated. This is the first story greenhouse, and it's now my art studio, and I use it as a greenhouse very functionally. So come late February, early spring, this room is covered in seedlings, everything getting ready for the gardening season. Right now it's pretty empty. It's a fantastic space though. I feel very fortunate to have this extra room so the kids can come out here and paint. You can get away if you need to just close the doors and have some privacy. The windows take you right into the potager, so there's a very indoor-outdoor feel in the room because the garden is right there in its floor-to-ceiling windows looking out to the garden.
Now we are in what I call the kid wing. This is the kids side of the house. Joel and I have our apartment on one side, and now we have the children's bedrooms, which all morph into each other. A lot of you guys ask, will you please show us the children's bedrooms? And I don't that often because I do like to respect their privacy. But today I have permission, especially from the teenagers, to show you their bedrooms. So we're going to start in Aiden's room. This room is all boy, but he does a really good job keeping it clean. It's very Americana. He likes American history, and I'm glad he has this space. It's a nice big space for him, and it morphs right into his sister's room. I think the layout of the children's rooms helps to keep them all very close-knit. I'm going to do my best with the camera. I don't have a wide-angle lens, so in some of the spaces, like Amelie's bedroom, which is very, very small, as per her request, she wanted the smallest room in the house. It's really hard to capture, but again, always visit the blog so you can see still photographs that might give you a little bit more perspective. happy that you were here today. Whether your style is a British farmhouse or a French farmhouse or even a Scandinavian Swedish type of a look, maybe you saw something in arrangement or an antique that gave you some inspiration to go into your own home and make it a place that truly makes your heart flip-flop. Thank you so much to Ana Luisa Jewelry for extending the 10% off to Parisienne Farmgirl viewers. Be sure to check the link in the description so you can get some gorgeous, very classic, sustainable recycled gold jewelry. If you would like to see this house from the very beginning, on the night we moved in, it's a little rough, it's before we officially started the channel, you can check this video right here. And if you'd like to see the gardens, you can check this one right here. Be sure to subscribe, check the description, get signed up for that Friday newsletter. I'd love to stay in touch with you that way. A bientôt.